let's mount up.
Oh, come on! Oh, no! Oh!
Check for pulse.
You have got to be kidding me! Come on! Yeah! Mountain bike friends, let's have some fun. Day 3 of broadcast competition live from Crankworx Cairns. Look at where we're hanging out, northeastern tip, the beautiful wild continent of Australia. I mean, we got the Great Barrier Reef, we got the wet tropics rainforest, and we got all kinds of mountain bike disciplines for you. Yesterday was all about downhill. We were cheering as Troy Brosnan took the win by a slight margin, and then Tracy Hanna, the hands-down favorite for this race, was leading by a large margin coming out of seeding, but she had issues in her run, and she ended up crossing the finish line just a tenth of a second ahead of the competition. Aussie sweep on the men's podium, Tracy Hanna grabbing the win for the women, and we're just going to continue carrying the vibes, which are very high here in Cairns. It's all about the Crankworx Cairns Pump Track Challenge today. I'm going to be hanging out with you all day. We got pump track right now. We got slope style later on. My name is Cam McCall. I'm going to be playing the host role, and I'm joined by Charlie Murray right here. Enduro racer, professional. He's going to be flying some stripes next year after the big win at the Trophy of Nations just last week. Thanks for making it down here to join us pump track racing today. That is probably the best course I have ever seen in my life. What do you think?
Yeah, as you said, we walked down there before, and Remy and his crew, the Flux boys, have done an amazing job on the course. The berms are vertical. There's like, we saw a backflip go down on one of the jumps. It's such a cool course, and I think we're going to see some cool stuff today.
We were watching the earlier rounds, just drooling over this course. Not only is it just pretty to look at, all of the edges are square. It has a really creative and unique design. Of course, Remy Morton from Flux Trail Design and Building came up with this one. He's a guy who's always sketching down his crazy ideas on a napkin, and he took the space he was given and came up with the best possible pump track you could. And the dirt here, it allows you to just create these sculptures, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's perfect. It packs in really well, and we saw them watering it. They're keeping it perfect between rounds, and the riders are loving it. There's those jumps. It's different than a traditional pump track course, a bit more creative, and it's yeah, it looks like a lot of fun to ride, so it's going to be good.
Like you said, some of the earlier rounds, we saw riders who knew they were too far behind after they switched sides with their competitor, and they're putting on a show for the crowd. We saw some backflips, we saw some 360s. This is blurring the lines between, you know, a jump section and a pump track. So we got some big names taken to the pump track today. Of course, Jordy Scott will be here. We saw her in downhill yesterday. We saw her in speed and style a couple days ago, and she's looking to grab some points today. She's currently sitting second in the Queen of Crankworx overall standings, but we got a bunch of other riders looking to shake up that overall. And we got Harriet Burbage-Smith, who took the gold in speed and style, using that backflip at the top of the course to her advantage. We saw her do a double shoey on the podium, which is great Aussie spirit. Jenna Hastings from Rotorua, New Zealand, the youngster, putting on a big show out here. We will see her in the round of 8 momentarily as well. But great festival vibe out here. We are embarking on the biggest day of the festival. This is the one day where we have 2 broadcast competitions. Of course, it's Saturday local time, and we're going to just fill this venue up with enthusiastic Aussie mountain bike fans and riders. And so we're joining up into this pump track race in the round of 8 for the men and the women, but let's take a look back at the round of 16 highlights from the women. We had Cassie Voicey going up against Via Verbeek. Via, obviously the reigning queen of Crankworx from the 2021 season, looking to get more points here today. Via was able to advance past Cassie Voicey, get into the round of 8. Then Louise Ferguson, of course, spending time in New Zealand, doesn't have too far to go to get here to Cairns. Martha Gill was able to knock Louise out. And then the youngster, we just saw her on screen, rocking that clean white kit, Jenna Hastings, knocking out Eldon Neuer. Jenna Hastings looking to shake up the results here today against the veterans. Danielle Beecroft, no downhill bike today. It's all about the hardtail for her. She was able to knock out Ellie Smith. So there are some of the highlights from the round of 16, and that brought us to this point right here. This is what we have for the round of 8, Charlie.
Yeah, it's looking good. I mean, I always like watching Jenna ride, and she was, like we said in Rotorua, she was riding every discipline really well. And then we've got, obviously, Caroline and Via Verbeek, so we've got some good matchups in here.
We love these bracketed formats because we're going to kick things off with heat number 1, a heat that could be a final. Caroline Buchanan going up against Via Verbeek. Great crowd that's continuing to build. We are at 11 o'clock local time right now, the beginning of a big, big day. And like I say, we expect to just see that fill up. Great place to hang out here, right? I mean, we have great dirt, we have great climate, and I think the best part is just the enthusiasm we have from the crowd. You love an Aussie crowd.
Yeah, there's people everywhere, and they're just filing in. The gates are flooding through the gates, and it's so cool, this kind of natural amphitheater we're in here with the red dirt and the rainforest. It's such a nice contrast.
So you saw that number 1 next to the name, Caroline Buchanan. She's been both on fire, but both battling injuries, so it's impressive that we have her back here today. But look at all these wins she has racked up. A couple, well, one this season, a second place this season, and the pump track win in Rotorua last year. But you know, the next time we see a stat was all the way back down in 2018. She battled back from a crazy injury, and it's great to have her back with a new focus as well, as she's focusing on slope style these days. We've seen her doing backflips, doing front flips, but of course, her bread and butter is pump track. She, of course, is an Olympian. She cut her teeth early on in her life, BMX racing, and transitioned those skills to all the different disciplines that we offer here at Crankworx Festivals. Crankworx truly bringing all the greats out to compete against each other. You see that kinese tape on her right shoulder. What a crazy crash we saw on Instagram, right?
I was just looking at that tape there. She's obviously still struggling a bit with that shoulder, but we know she's worked really hard in the last three and 4 weeks to rehab that. But that crash, that front flip was huge.
Yeah, she's such an animal. That crash looks like it would take somebody out for a whole season, and to think it was only 3.5 weeks ago. And it's funny, I can relate and I can respect how much of a charger she is, because I did a similar injury 3 weeks ago, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not out there racing. You know, she was on the podium in speed and style, and she's loaded up in the gate right now for pump track. She will be going up against the 8th place qualifier and reigning queen of Crankworx, Via Verbeek. There's Via. Now, if you're new to spectating the pump track challenge, these riders are on tiny little bikes with only front suspension. They do not have a chain. The only way they are able to generate speed is by pumping the backsides, basically like on a swing set. Generate momentum on the downside, stay light up top, heavy down in the bottom of those transitions. They're off.
I think Caroline's got a slight advantage coming to the first bowl. Oh, so strong over the top of that taco. Off that horn, across the finish line. Big advantage to Caroline.
Yeah, big advantage. Caroline Buchanan showing why there's a number 1 next to her name and a number 8 next to Via's name. Caroline, the number 1 qualifier, with a strong advantage. This is going to go similar format to what you witnessed if you joined us for Speed and Style a couple days ago. Is we will now get them back on the course, switch sides, and the rider with the fastest combined time will advance into the next round.
From the start, Caroline she was definitely ahead. She got the gate perfectly and then just continued that speed right through.
Yeah, I mean, with all the Olympic training she's gone through in her life, I believe a 2-time Olympian in BMX racing, all those skills apply more to this pump track discipline than any other discipline we offer here at the Crankworx World Tour, in which we're right in the middle of stop 3 on this 4-stop World Tour. And it's great to see the young talent of Jenna Hastings right now, the number 4 qualifier, going up against Martha Gill, the number 5 qualifier. So expect this matchup to be a tight one.
Yeah, Martha from Great Britain, she's the enduro rider. Jenna's more downhill, but they both know their way around a pump track. It's almost neck and neck, Cam. Is it a slight advantage to Martha, mate?
Oh, it's
maybe
tight.
Not.
Oh, it's going to be Just 0.1 separating these two riders. Jenna Hastings with the advantage.
That's the first time I cleared the jump.
I got it pretty good that time. I was like, go, go, go.
Oh, they're both so excited. That's awesome.
Charlie, a lot of times in dual slalom and speed and style, you have one course that appears to be faster than the other, but this course is kind of looking like a straight up mirror image, isn't it?
Yeah, when we had that drone shot, the bird's eye view before, it looked exactly identical, but it's going to be interesting to see if it is.
So Harriet Burbage-Smith, we saw her take the win in speed and style. She's the number 3 qualifier going up against Danielle Beecroft, the number 6 qualifier.
Pretty even down the first straight there. Harriet's just pulling away now. Clears the double perfectly off the horn.
Harriet through the line first by the maximum differential. Here's a great opportunity to talk about that.
10 bike lengths behind you.
Can you tease around the ladies?
No. What if we just refused?
Where'd you get that from? Have a rocket up a bum or something. I don't know.
Oh, look at the difference in those starts, Charlie.
Yeah, Harriet was super aggressive, but she kind of almost got hung up a little bit.
So the max differential, 1.5. Even if you have a crash and are 20 seconds behind through the finish line, the maximum you'll have to make up once you switch sides is 1.5 seconds. So,
and that's just on the first round.
Yes.
The first run.
Beecroft still in the game there against Harriet once they switch sides, but right now it's all about Shania Rawson going up against Jordy Scott. Rawson, left side of your screen, Jordy Scott on the right. Jordy Scott, the number 2 qualifier today.
They're off. It looks really hard with no chain to do that gate start.
Yeah, there's so many different strategies.
Some riders use their brake to hold the brake to have something to kind of push off.
Some of them wiggle, some of them hop.
Jordy, clear advantage there, over half a second. Will they swap sides?
So we're talking about those different start strategies. Let's take a look back at the start of this heat. Oh, wow, the hop technique. You don't want to be rolling backwards right out of the gate.
There was a bit of backwards movement there from Shania, but they're definitely hopping into that first transition. You've got to push against the gate, but you can't push off it or you go backwards.
I want to consult a physicist, right? Like, okay, how do we get this momentum going in the direction we want right here? We've had so many different start techniques in the past few seasons for the pump track challenge.
You don't talk, then like everybody is like, why do you always look at the camera? I'm like, what do you want me to do?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we want to see the
like, you
smile.
should like talk to them. I'm like, we already talked. There's a whole day.
So,
yeah.
you see those green L's, that signifies the leader from run number 1 in these quarterfinal round of 8 matchups. Buchanan over Verbeek, Hastings over Gill, Burbage-Smith over Beecroft, and we just saw Jordy Scott cross the line a half second ahead of Shania Rawson. That's what things will look like as we work on getting those riders back up to the top of the course to switch sides. These women's pro quarterfinals. So we're going to join up with the men in their round of 8 matchups right now, but it only makes sense that we take a look back at how we ended up here for their round of 16. So Guzman going up against Lemoyne. Lemoyne putting a lot on his plate today, just the way the schedule happens to work out. He's got slopestyle later on. And then Bensink up against Jackson Fruit. Bensink takes the lead and knocks out Fruit. We will see Bensink return with another opportunity to get on the podium again this season. We've seen him on there already. And now Bas van Steenbergen ahead of Baxter Maywald. So a lot of those big names that we're talking about for the overall, making it into the round 8. And then Jaden Fleming out of New Zealand over Wade Turner. And that sets the stage for the round 8. So, big name there for heat number 1. Blankensop sneaking in there, the 9th qualifier, doing work to make it into the top 8. And he'll have to continue doing work because it's not going to be an easy path going up against number 1 qualifier Jace Cunning. And then Lemoyne and Ben Sink, that is a heat that could be a final. Van Steenbergen against Jaden Fleming. And Butterworth versus Warshawski. So here's a cool overview of our venue here. Everything's really tight. You got all the action in one place. The speed style, the slalom, the slope style. The downhill even ends right in the same spot, but the pump track looks a little something like this. A great design. Creative, that guy, Remy Morton.
Yeah, he said he wanted more space. He's got 45 square meters of track, and he was even going to do 60. So we might see this track developing in the future too. But right now, it looks, you know, I couldn't really imagine it being better.
If they keep this pump track hanging out, it's going to do wonders for the local riding community. I'm sure we're going to see some pro riders emerge on the scene now that we've got a new stop here at Crankworx Cairns. That seems to be the pattern as we continue, like Johnny Appleseed, bringing Crankworx World Tour around the world. All right, heat number 1 in the round of 8 for the men. Jace Cunning, number 1 qualifier, going up against Sam Blankensop.
Even start. So I think Jace, he's the pump track champion for Australia at the moment. He's got a clear advantage over Blinky.
So Jace Cunning.
That's why he's the number 1 qualifier.
I got you on the gate and then I was like, smoking it.
So I talked
you killed it out of the start.
I talked to Blinky earlier, and he said this is about his 8th gate start.
That was a good one, though. Like,
yeah.
He's just a natural at chainless gate starts.
He said he's done more gate starts without a chain than with a chain, because he's not a BMXer.
Anytime you cross any finish line on a bicycle ahead of Sam Blankensop, man, that's something to be proud about. So Jace Cunning, our number 1 qualifier, with all that pressure of that number 1 going into this, it'd be pretty cool to see if he can back that up.
He's pre-hopped off the shark fin out of the berm there.
So Dan Butterworth is the number 2 qualifier. So we see that collision course between the number 1 qualifier and the number 2 qualifier on our brackets. But here we got some bracket busters here. We got Thomas Lemoyne, a guy who's won so many pump track challenges. He's going to be going up against Ben Sink, who is the number 4 qualifier. So 4 and 5 qualifiers here. This will be a tight matchup. And yeah, just one tiny piece of Thomas Lemoyne's gigantic day today.
Yeah, I mean, he's missing slope practice at the moment.
Thomas Lemoyne leading the King of Crankworx overall right now. Looking for more points today. Good start out of Lemoyne.
I think Lemoyne's just ahead. It's almost neck and neck.
Look at that. Clean advantage there for Lemoyne. 0.1, pretty tight. It looked like bigger than 0.1, but when you crunch the numbers, it's going to be a drag race once we switch sides. It's always fun to watch, you know, those qualifying results and see the slower qualifier climb the ladder.
Well, like you said, Blinky's in the top 8 and he qualified 9th, so he's already improved.
Just the precision of Lemoyne, huh?
Yeah, and he's on flat pedals too.
Yeah, talk about some of the advantages that exist with clips here. You can't pedal, but still clips do provide an advantage, don't they?
Yeah, well, the bike stays stuck to your feet. But you see Lemoyne, he's like using his feet, the angle, to push into the pedals and keep the grip. I guess he's just so used to them from his, his slope style and his other events. He wants to be able to throw those feet off.
Bass Van Steenbergen going up against Jaden Fleming now.
Oh, Bass looks like he's got an advantage here. Just 0.2, almost 0.3 of a second.
So look back, just, I don't know, look at how much body English there always is with Bass Van Steenbergen, but none of those movements go to waste. They're all in the big interest of generating speed. He does such a good job.
He's working that bike so hard. His body's going up and down. It's funny seeing riders opt for goggles or no goggles.
Nobody likes their eyes wide, right? Even if it's a 20-second race. Nice to keep the wind out of your eyes. Max Warshawski, number 10 qualifier, with a tough road ahead going up against number 2 qualifier, Dan Butterworth. Ooh, what a start out of Butterworth.
Oh, he's looking so solid on that straight coming back up. Over the double.
Whoa, just almost missing that gate on the shark fin.
Good advantage to Butterworth. He manual down into the finish line there.
What's that?
Yeah, and you can walk towards me.
Oh, yeah? I'm weak down.
So, Butterworth with the 0.7 advantage over Warshawski just now. We got Van Steenbergen with the advantage over Fleming. Thomas Lemoyne just putting 0.1 on the man who qualified one position higher than him, Niels Bensink. And then Blankensop hanging out, looking to try to make it an upset there to knock out the number 1 qualifier. He's got 0.8 of an uphill battle.
A lot of work to do for Blinky.
So we got Lemoyne sitting there looking good, trying to grab some points, but it's only opportunity 1 of 2 for this big Saturday here in Cairns. Next event coming up in a couple hours is going to be Crankworx Cairns slopestyle, 3:30 p.m. local time. We'll see riders like Nikolai Rogakin and Eric Fedko trying to upset the streak of the unbeatable Emil Johansson. He's won the last 8 Crankworx slopestyle competitions. He's going to try to make it 9 in a row today. So yeah, show up for that. Even if you got to stay up until the wee hours of the night to watch it, I highly recommend you get to the store and pick up some popcorn for that one. So Caroline Buchanan right now put the max differential 1.5 on Via Verbeek. Via with some work to do.
Yeah, Caroline just really needs a smooth run here. She can keep it straight, keep it upright. She'll probably be advancing. She's already got that advantage. Coming into the last straight. Just coming up short on the double there. But again, she puts in a big differential.
So Caroline Buchanan delivering on that promise that's made when you qualify first, easily knocking out Via Verbeek, securing herself a spot into the round of 4.
Oh, goodness.
This next heat, we'll see loading up into the gate shortly here. Martha Gill against Jenna Hastings. The winner of this matchup will square up against Caroline Buchanan in the semifinals. So Jenna Hastings with the advantage of just 1/10 of a second over Martha Gill. So very much within reach here for Gill.
Hey guys, can you stay up the scaffolding? You're bumping the camera.
I'll tell you one, Charlie.
It's neck and neck. Maybe Jenna slightly in front.
Keep in mind, only 0.1 on this one.
I think,
oh, there it is.
She can hold this little advantage. There she goes. Jenna will be advancing.
There was something about that final berm
Oh, we're hugging it out.
where Jenna just scooted some speed out of it.
A slight mistake from Martha, or she just missed the transition maybe.
Oh. That was a good one. Like my manual went a bit off.
Oh, there we go. You hear that?
Yeah, let's see if we can pick it up on screen. Yep, there it was.
Seeing Martha's manuals on Instagram, it's hard to imagine that she ever gets one wrong. She's got one of the best manuals in the game.
Pressure.
Came up short on that jump there.
It's such a domino effect, right? One mistake, and next thing you know, you're out of rhythm for the rest of the features.
You see Jenna just brushing that flag coming over the last horn there.
So Jenna and Caroline will square up against each other. Now we see Harriet Burbage-Smith and Danielle Beecroft Has with the 1.5 advantage over Beecroft.
So same as Caroline, she just needs to get through this one smooth. Hopping into that first transition. She's going to lean into that bowl. It's quite close. I think Harriet's slightly ahead. She does just what she needs to do.
Yeah, Harriet leaning on that 1.5 max differential and cleanly eliminating Danielle Beecroft from the competition today. I mean, Haz is the #3 qualifier. She can totally do it. It would be exciting to see her doing another double shoey on the podium if everything goes her way. Let's take a look back at these starts.
Oh, they just got a little bit hung up there, especially Danielle. But yeah, I'd love to see another shoey from Harriet. The classic Australian spirit.
We got the shoey counter going for podiums. I'm not sure where we're at. We might have to check in on that.
Maybe 3.
Three
She did
shoeys?
2 at once, so
Double shoeys that count for more than just one shoey?
we have to get the technical expert on the shoeys.
Is that on Wikipedia?
Daniel Ricciardo maybe will know.
So Haz moving into the semifinals. She will be going up against the winner of this bracket right now. This heat, I should say. Jordy Scott against Shania Rawson. And Jordy Scott from Henderson, Nevada. She hasn't been on the Crankworx World Tour for very long, but she's been making a huge splash this season. Just really proving she has a diverse skill set in so many different disciplines. And if competing in all these events wasn't enough, she's also studying as well, right?
Yeah, she's got a lot of balls in the air, but they're all landing in the right places at the moment, so it's exciting to see this one go down.
So
She's got a
Jordy's-
slight advantage.
Yeah, half second for Jordy Scott.
So far, both sides of the track have looked pretty even in time. Jordy's got an advantage there. This bird's eye view is awesome.
I hope this drone doesn't run out of battery. I like this view. Really get to see who's
Jordy
got the advantage there.
absolutely smashing it.
So Jordy Scott safely secures herself a spot against Harriet Burbage-Smith in the round of 4.
So it looks like Blinky getting ready. He's got a lot of work to do.
I mean, I'm rooting for Blanky right now. I mean, it would take a miracle, 0.8 back, but I love the Cinderella story. 9th qualifier going up against 1st place qualifier. And the semifinals for the women is set. Jordy Scott against Herbert Smith, and look at heat number 1 there. That's going to be a tight one.
Yeah, I mean, both of these semifinals are going to be really exciting. We've got the top 4 qualifiers in the semifinals.
Backing up those seedings runs there. Caroline Buchanan going up against Jenna Hastings. The young gun against the veteran.
Go absolutely nuts.
That'll be fun to watch. Right now, it's all about the men run 2 of the quarterfinals. There's that number 1 qualifier on the right side of your screen there, rocking the blue jersey, Jace Cunning. Sam Blankensop, the downhiller, the enduro racer, trying his hand at pump track.
These guys are both clipped in. Jace has got the BMX shoes on.
It's the longest we've ever seen Blanky go without pedaling.
Oh, Blinky's doing a bit better on this run.
I know, he's so close, but
It's
not
still
close
not
enough.
Jace looks unstoppable.
Fuck, you're so fast on the track, man. Thank you. I'm stoked with my gates, though. Yeah, you're killing me out of the gate. It's not live, because you can't hear the beat.
Isn't that crazy? Blanky is so good at chainless gate starts. Who would have thought the guy who pedals even when his wheels aren't on the ground is the best at gate starting with no chain?
I can't understand it. I was literally talking to him about half an hour ago, and he was saying how hard gates are, but without a chain, he's doing really well. But still not enough.
Jace, #1 qualifier there, delivering on that promise, securing yourself a spot into the round of 4. How's the day been so far?
Yeah, it's been really good. I really enjoyed riding a dirt pump track. I've only ever really raced asphalt, so I'm enjoying riding with all the mountain bike guys and just trying to keep up. The track's running 6. The builders have done a sick job, so I'm really impressed.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of fun. I have a question. I saw on your Instagram you've got the Australian national jersey there. Is that in pump track?
Yeah, I won the Australian Championship in February, but that was on asphalt as well, so this is a little bit different.
Yeah, this crazy thing always happens where we bring Crankworx to a new town and then somebody emerges on the pump track and starts to steal the show. I think it's time for you to book your ticket to Rotorua.
Yeah, I said to the boys I'll see how I go today, but I'm pretty happy with my riding, so I might see you there.
Good stuff. Well, best of luck for the rest of the racing today. Get back up there.
Thank you.
Good stuff there out of Jace Gunning. I mean, we saw it when we moved Crankworx to France. We had Cheney Gounet show up and steal the show. And then we rolled into Rotorua and we were introduced to riders like Keegan Wright. And here, take a look at some stats from Niels Bensink. The first at the Pump Track Challenge in Innsbruck to kick off the 2022 season. Backing up that win he took at Silver Star during the Summer Series in 2021, that great BC road trip we had. It's kind of fun to watch Bensink and Bass go up against heats against each other. They grew up racing together as kids in the Netherlands, and now they find themselves on the same world tour here at Crankworx. Lemoyne just with a tenth of a second advantage here over Bensink.
Looks like Lemoyne's just ahead.
Knows how to generate power though, but it's going to be a tall order.
But Bensink is going to be, he's not going to be giving up. Carrying good speed out of that second corner. I think Bensink, oh, it's not going to be enough.
Oh, it was close.
That was very close.
Way to go there, Thomas Lemoyne, taking that 5th place qualifying result and knocking out the 4th place qualifier there, Niels Bensink. Things going well for Lemoyne on this very busy day for him.
Yeah, he's had a busy week. We saw that crash that he had yesterday in the slope practice. Massive eject out the front door.
Yeah, if you haven't seen this, go on to Thomas Lemoyne's Instagram. He tried to manual across an on-off box, and that worst nightmare happened where you drop the front tire right in the bad spot at the top of the knuckle of the landing, straight over the bars. We saw that last night. We're going, oh man, hopefully he's still able to compete in slopestyle. And then they changed the schedule, and now pump track comes before slopestyle. And not only is he still competing in slopestyle, he's still competing in pump track. What an animal. Let's listen in.
You were way ahead, man. Like half a bike there.
Fuck, I have 4 more.
There we go. Bass van Steenbergen against Jaden Fleming. Bass with an advantage of 0.2. So definitely anybody's game here. 0.2 is the difference between one tiny little mistake.
Bass got an advantage here.
#1.
Rip that corner.
Over the whale tail, Vandy through the back corner. What do we have?
Has he still got an advantage? It's so close.
Whoa!
Oh, Jaden, I can't call it. That was too close.
I know, we're just waiting for those numbers to populate.
But I think that means Bass will probably go through because he had that advantage.
0.2.
And that didn't look like 0.2. That looked like about less than a tenth. Here we go. Bass with a slight advantage out of the start. But then on the finish straight, Jaden was gaining some distance.
Bass had 0.2 to play with, and he was definitely
just scrubbing over that jump.
Not letting off the gas. And, you know, all you got to do is just stay with them, and you know you're going to be good. So, yeah, without a doubt, Bass van Steenbergen will be securing himself a spot into the semifinals. And now, The winner of this next matchup will go up against Bas van Steenbergen. We got Max Warchowski coming up against Dan Butterworth.
Getting the official word from the starters, it is Bas van Steenbergen eliminating Jaden Fleming. Moving on to the semis. Looking back up, we're going to
So
see
Jaden Fleming hits the showers. Bas secures himself a spot. Now Max Warchowski and Dan Butterworth. Keep in mind, Dan Butterworth, number 2 qualifier.
He's got a good advantage coming into this round. Dan's staying super low down the first straight. He's definitely ahead.
Right now, Dan has about
Floating
a
through
second lead
there.
for run number 1.
Oh! Huge pull for Max.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get a replay of that.
It came off the top of the horn at the end.
It's like if you know you're getting eliminated, all right, time to put on a show. Dan Butterworth will go up against Bas van Steenbergen.
Dan's just staying so low and pumping strong through those straights. Here he goes.
Oh, yes!
Huge!
He took off of the cannon option. Yeah, it's like,
That's
I don't
what we were
care if I
talking
miss
about.
A gate. Big. Oh, he didn't even. He still crossed the line in the right spot.
Just made it to his finish.
I love it. Look at the amplitude, dude.
I'm not surprised he went for that, because when you go up on track, it catches your eye, doesn't it?
I know. It just screams, jump off of me. Good show there,
Bas
Max.
and Dan into the semis. This first heat is going to be very exciting.
Talk to me about it.
Jace versus Lemoyne, number 1 and 5 in the qualifiers. But I think Lemoyne, he's already shown that he's worth more than that number 5 next to his name.
Okay, so if that's what you believe, who do you have your money on?
It's hard to look past Jace Cunning at the moment. He's confident and he's relaxed. He's also the Australian national champ.
All right, who do you got between 3rd place qualifying Bas against Dan Butterworth, number 2 qualifier?
That's hard.
Anybody's game right there.
What do you
Who
think?
do you have?
I'd probably have to go for Dan because he's from New Zealand.
All right, fine. I'll take Bas because I live on the same continent. All right,
Fair enough,
cool. A
fair
little
enough.
friendly competition here. I'll bet you a tangerine.
All right, skin on and everything. Oh, those party shirts are just looking so good.
Well, the crowd having a great time out here, and the competitors definitely not wasting the experience in Cairns. Take a look at some heli adventures some of our riders were enjoying.
Drone rides you. Not so pleasant. Helicopter over the Great Barrier Reef. Very pleasurable.
It was such a privilege to go on the helicopter. Like seeing all the colorful like blue and green hues from above was just like getting the whole picture. And I'm an adrenaline junkie, and the guy definitely gave us a little feel of what it would be like in his interpretation to go on a jump on the bike, which was really funny. We went up and then went drop really down really quickly. So adrenaline plus like the most beautiful views of the Great Barrier Reef was just such a combo.
I mean, that heli adventure looks like a blast. Even just flying in here to Cairns, I made sure to have a window seat because the view you get of the Great Barrier Reef is insane. You can see it from space, but the view is better from a helicopter. Well, look at that. Getting this nice little statistic here. Caroline Buchanan, number 1 qualifier, but we've been keeping track of the fastest times of the day for both of these categories here, the men's and the women's. And Caroline Buchanan, the 2 fastest times of the day. So this is hers to lose here. Looking for Caroline to make no mistakes because statistically speaking, this is her gold medal and her shoey opportunity if she chooses to accept it.
Yeah, I'd like to see a shoey from Caroline. But I mean, you see there, Jenna's got the 3rd fastest time of the day. So this matchup, it's not going to be easy for Caroline.
No. But I think she's got what it takes. I got my money on Caroline. I'm going to take all your tangerines.
Yeah, I'm back in the NZ, guys. I just have to, you know.
Oh,
Caroline just stays so low and just almost speed tucking through that corner.
And Caroline
Good
put the advantage on Jenna Hastings. It's going to be a 0.8 strong lead. And I got to tell you, separated AC joint, pumping, getting off the back of the bike is the most difficult thing. So this is such an impressive performance here out of Caroline, considering she busted that shoulder just 3.5 weeks ago.
You can see how much tape is on her shoulder there, but good start from both. Caroline, slight advantage in the start. Then they were almost even on the first straight, but Caroline she's almost speed tucking through the corners and so perfect on the pumps, catching every downside.
And she's going to be somebody we're talking about for years to come here.
That just pressing off that lip and manually across the top.
Every little moment counts there. Caroline staying really low on those features that she doubles.
White shirt, I was like, oh.
Number 2 of the semifinals for the ladies. Australia versus USA.
So there we go. Put a star next to Caroline's name for that advantage. Now we move things over to Harriet Burbage-Smith against Jordy Scott. And we were placing bets on this one as well. We didn't yet, actually. All right.
No, we haven't.
I'm taking Jordy.
Oh,
That's not fun, though, because she's statistically, faster here based on qualifying. But I'm going USA, so bring it.
Yeah, fair enough. I think Harriet, she's strong. She's looking good on the pumps. She's using the upper body to generate speed, and this is gonna be close.
Oh, good start out of Jordy.
Ripping into that bowl. I think Harriet's just maybe slightly behind. She's coming through. She's coming through. You see that second half of the course from Harriet.
Harriet just rocket shipped out of that back berm.
0.2-second advantage for
Yeah, just the difference in how low. When you have more speed coming into one of those roller sections, you're able to clear the same gap by staying lower, get those tires back on the ground, generating speed sooner. Let's take a look back.
Jordy had a really good gate start. But then, yeah, out of that second corner, Harriet held so much speed. It's amazing how fast they go with no chain. No pedaling at all.
A complete standstill to full-on race pace.
I wonder what the speed is over the finish line, like 30 k's an hour or something.
Ruining it.
0 to 60.
0 to 60.
She always ruins it.
Right now, you've got a whole host of
This is going to be good.
in the ladies' field, and still your number 1 seed in the men's
I
field.
like the looks of this. Take a look at the fast times of the day for the men. Jace Cunning, fastest time of the day, but Thomas Lemoyne so close behind. And what do you say? We just put them in a heat together just to settle this once and for all. Number 1 qualifier, Jace Cunning, going up against number 5 qualifier, Thomas Lemoyne.
Well, the clip pedals versus the flat pedals in this one.
All right, I got Lemoyne. I'm going for the underdog.
I'm going for the national champ of Australia.
Show me the tangerines.
I hope we can see Jace come to Rotorua because he's putting on a good performance for us.
No, I've seen this story play out before. He's definitely, we're picking him up, we're taking him with us. So the rest of the World Tour stops for the next few years, I have a feeling.
He's chicken baggage.
Yeah.
Number 1 plate on Lemoyne's bike. Slight advantage Lemoyne out of the start.
Come on.
He's used to the dirt. We heard Jay say he's used to it.
Oh, wow. Oh, my.
Jace is killing the second half of the course. Half a second advantage.
I mean, if the end of the course was in the middle, Lemoyne, boom, whooping him.
Yeah.
But I talked to Lemoyne earlier, and he was saying for some reason, let's see, which side was he on? He said he likes turning left a little bit more than right. Let's take that into consideration. So let's watch this start again. Talk to me about the advantage of having clip pedals and see if we can,
You see, look at him, he's actually moving his feet.
Yeah, that was, I don't know. I think Lemoyne's start was better just because the strategy of drop and heel, right?
Yeah. I don't know if he he was struggling against Blinky too. Blinky was having slightly better starts than
Okay.
Jace.
So that back berm was the right-hander for Jason, the left-hander for Lemoyne. So that was Lemoyne's preferred side. It's just...
We see Lemoyne with a little advantage there out at the start.
Yes.
But then
watch,
it slips away.
Oh, he pumps, Jace pumps like the entry transition into that berm. He generates speed where that pocket tightens, yeah.
Young understudy from New Zealand named Dan Butterworth.
Nice.
The classic master versus the apprentice. It's going to be a good fight and a healthy rivalry.
Lemoyne.
Here we go.
Hashtag ready for finals.
We've got another Kiwi in the gate.
Either way, Vandy.
Dan Butterworth from the Rotorua local, so he's probably been practicing on that Rotorua Crankworx track. But he's got a big order on hand against Bass.
We did bet on this one.
Yeah.
I went with Bass.
The ILAB boys.
Come on, Bass.
Start using the brake to get a pump out. Dan already about a half bike length behind, but he knows he can pull back on this whale tail.
That's ridiculous bike skill.
Bass has got a good advantage here.
I feel bad for you. You're not going to have any tangerines left.
It's not looking good.
So Bass Van Steenbergen crossing the finish line first by a differential of 0.4 ahead of Dan Butterworth.
I wonder if there was a mistake from Dan or if it was just Bass's raw speed.
Number 1 for Bass.
Oh, I like as we see the Blood Cowboys getting down the hoses.
So those contact points, the tire, the dirt, both of them need to be as hard as possible. So minimal speed is lost in these transitions and in these berms. We talked to Bass earlier during the round of 32. We felt his tires. Do you remember what he said his tire PSI was?
I think it was 70 PSI?
70 PSI.
I was worried that they weren't rated to 70, but he says they can go up to 80 without popping.
That Max's DTH cranked all the way to 70. And as this dirt dries up, then you see loose pockets and that speed loss as well. So they keep this thing nice and watered to firm it up as much as possible and keep all the speed available on this Crankworx Cairns Pump Track Challenge course.
Yes! Got a decided Star Wars fan there. It's good keeping the dust down too. These guys have no goggles, most of them.
No, I like goggles. I'll go down the street to pick up some groceries on my bike and wear goggles.
Caroline's going for the goggles. She's got a dark lens and
great to have Caroline rehabbed and back ready to rip here in Cairns. We caught up with her earlier to talk about the mindset coming into this competition.
So my journey so far kicked off in Innsbruck with a pump track podium, a second place. Jumped across to Whistler and I got another podium with a first in the new format, straight rhythm pump track there. And now we come into Australia, down under, where I hope to get on the box a few more times and really put on a show for the fans down under.
Well, she's been doing exactly that so far out here. We saw her on the podium, speed and style, grabbing that bronze medal.
yeah, like you said, with that injury, pump track's got to be one of the hardest things to do with a injured shoulder.
For sure. You get back behind the bike and it pulls your shoulder forward, and that's exactly what it doesn't want to do. It's easier carrying momentum down a hill.
Look at that advantage. Jenna has a lot of work to do if she wants to try and get through this semi-final.
Caroline with the 2 fastest times of the day so far for the women. Let's see what happens.
It's quite close. Caroline just ahead. Woo. There she goes.
Nice.
We'll see her in the final. And Jenna's still got a chance for that bronze medal.
That's right. Jenna Hastings will roll into the bronze medal matchup. Caroline, the first rider, securing that spot in the gold medal matchup.
The day's looking good for her so far. First in qualifying, and she's first one into that major final.
We see some riders just juicing so much speed out of these berms right here. Boom. Finding transition in those berms is the way to generate more speed than your opponent. And it's tough to tell what exactly is the right moment to juice the pump. But some riders, you see how much they're able to gain after that berm into the final straightaway. And whatever it is they're doing it right.
You can see a lot of riders are hopping just before the pump.
Well, Caroline, things going your way today. #1 qualifier. You stacked up the 2 fastest times of the day so far. Pump track's got to be tough with the shoulder, just working back into operating.
Yeah, I think we're pretty lucky on the tour that we've got Ewan, an amazing doctor that's here, and we wouldn't be able to do it without him. So thanks to Ewan and thanks to all the fans, just to come through, get that energy from the crowd, high five the kids. That's what this event's about.
Yeah, Ewan is the man. It's great to have him there, getting everybody ready to rip. And the crowd here, they seem to just get a little bit louder for you here than everywhere else, right? They love that Aussie spirit.
We've got a lot of Aussies out there, so keep turning it up and they'll perform today.
Good stuff. Well, best of luck. It's going right for you right now, so we're hoping you can grab that gold medal. We'll see you on the podium again if everything goes your way. Good luck.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, we can't really say enough good stuff about Ewan, the Crankworx doctor. A lot on his plate, keeping these riders in tip-top shape. And, you know, you get that prognosis from your doc at home, and it seems like there's no chance you'd be competing. You get Ewan on the case, and look at that. He did it for Emil and Whistler. Emil was, I don't know, 4 weeks out of a broken hand. Some superhuman stuff there when he won Joyride.
I know these riders seem to come back 10 times quicker than normal.
Yeah,
it's a matter of weeks instead of a matter of months.
Harriet Burbage-Smith with a .28 advantage over Jordy Scott.
Solid start for both riders.
Yeah, into the bottom bowl.
But .28 isn't that much.
No, it's going
Oh, come on, Jordy. Wow.
Oh, this is going to be so close.
Could be close. Keep in mind, .28 was...
Oh! Looks like Jordy's done it.
She did it. Wow.
She came from the back foot and smoked that second run.
I mean, she is the #2 qualifier, and she did just secure herself a spot in the gold medal matchup, but she had to work for it.
It looks like hard work. They're puffing after just that, such a short effort, but they're using every muscle in their body to pump these bikes through this course. I wonder if, yeah, Jordy just, especially in the second half of the course, was a class above.
She has it figured out in that back berm, doesn't she?
Yeah, and I wonder if it's the different sides, because we saw both riders on that side were quicker in those 2 runs.
And maybe answering that question we had before, we just didn't have enough data to create a hypothesis of which course might be faster, but that question may be answered itself now. So Lemoyne loading up into the gate against Jace Cunning. Jace Cunning, #1 qualifier. Jace Cunning with the advantage. But after all, this is Thomas Lemoyne we're talking about.
Can't count him out.
Half a second if Lemoyne's going to do it. That's a lot of time on such a short course.
If Jace can just keep it smooth and finish close to Lemoyne, he'll have it. He's slightly behind. Lemoyne with the advantage into the first berm. Oh, but here comes Jace.
Oh.
Down the final straight.
Yeah, Jace got it, no problem.
With that nice manual down the backside into the finish. So Jace is going straight through to the big final.
Look at that.
And Lemoyne still gets to go into that bronze medal matchup.
Absolutely deafening when one of their fellow countrymen come around this track.
Look at that back tire lifted up off the ground and touching back down twice before they made it into that start transition. 1, 2.
He's hopping.
They both have the similar technique.
But then when they're pumping the tires, they're not even deforming. They've got such high pressures in those tires that they're just basically, it's like having a rigid, fully rigid.
Yeah, Jace Cunning looking unbeatable here. I can't wait to see who's going to meet up with him in the gold medal matchup. We'll see Lemoyne again in the bronze medal matchup, but woo, look at this. Look at those times, Charlie.
He's running a clinic for the riders out here.
Jace Cunning.
Not bad then.
Well, I noticed
the second class.
Well, I
got the top 3.
Oh, well, let's
every lines, eh?
So yeah, what I noticed about Jace is he's just picking up speed throughout the whole course.
How about that? Sub 15. We just saw that 14.8 there. The first time we've seen a rider break the 15-second mark on this course. Ooh, all right. Who's going to go up against Jace Cunning in the gold medal matchup? Will it be Butterworth or Van Steenbergen? Bass has the advantage. It's an advantage of 0.4. Bass wants these points, man. He's looking at Lemoyne in that bronze medal matchup. He knows he's going to be getting some points. Wants it.
Good start from Bass.
Getting another massive gate start with Butterworth. Keeping it tight. He's within a wheel.
And he's coming back, I think.
Oh,
Bass is just ahead.
Oh, he needs 0.4 though. That's not 0.4, that's 0.1. So Butterworth into the gold medal matchup. Bass, come on. Bass is gonna go up against Lemoyne. Number 1 and 2 of the King of Crankworx overall.
Bass is going up against Jace.
Look at that start.
Good start from Bass. And just kept extending. I thought Dan was going to come back after this first burn, but Bass is looking so solid. Just ahead there.
That was a clutch moment there for Bass, wasn't it?
It was really close that round.
Versus NZ, Kangaroo versus Kiwi. I'm talking about Jana Hastings in the white kit in the white lane, going head-to-head with the iLab Marlboro kid.
Man.
And the Red Bull riding for Trek.
That's exactly what he needed to do right there. With Lemoyne in the bronze medal matchup, Bass Van Steenbergen puts himself into a scenario where the worst he can do today is grab silver medal points.
So that's going to help his standings in the King of Crankworx.
No matter what happens in this bronze medal matchup between Lemoyne and Butterworth, we know that Bass is going to be getting more points, and he's going to need them. He's sitting there in that second place spot in the King of Crankworx overall. So that heat, I mean, we can talk all we want about, you know, points right now, but at the end of the season, you look back to little moments like that, and you realize how big some of these little heats are in the overall King of Crankworx standings.
It's amazing. Look at the King of Crankworx can come down to one 15-second run, and you look at that.
A lot of money on the line for King of Crankworx.
It's a pretty good hourly wage then.
Yeah, 15 seconds for how much you could possibly gain.
But it's a long season, and yeah, you got to stay injury-free and compete in a lot of events, these guys.
So Harriet Burbridge Smith, right side of the screen, go up against Jenna Hastings. Bronze medal matchup right here, run number 1 of 2.
Jenna's looking good. She just holds it to the line.
Jenna Hastings will own the advantage going into run number 2 here. One step closer to a Crankworx medal. 0.4 ahead of Haz.
That side's faster. Chill out.
So we're just hearing that maybe Jenna's side is faster.
They'll go back up, and then we'll decide who gets the bronze medal. Jenna or Haz. Those tracks are running so even that it doesn't really matter. It's just if you get the backsides and if you roll.
Here's the King of Crankworx standings at the moment.
Oh, I thought that was fast times for a second there. But yeah, this is what we've been talking about.
So Lemoyne has a good advantage. But Bass, as you said, he's been in that gold medal matchup.
I think you get 100 points for a win, which, man, if Lemoyne wasn't, there you go. So
we're going to see Lemoyne either scoring 50 or 60 points, depending on how he goes. And it could be 100 or 80 for Bass.
Man, those points, you know, you think, oh man, you start licking your fingers at the idea of 100 points, and then you look over into that next bracket and realize the guy you're going up against is also going to be earning some points right now as well.
Going head-to-head with your number 2 qualifier, Dan Butterworth. Dan, with that number 2 Z, kind of put a target on his back early.
Run number 1 here, this men's bronze medal matchup. Thomas Lemoyne thinking big picture. king of Crankworx overall standings, trying to maintain that lead over Bas van Steenbergen.
Oh, good start for both riders. Advantage to Lemoyne.
Oh, tightens up.
He's ahead. Looks like Lemoyne's going to have it.
Lemoyne had that momentum on his side out of that back burn.
So, yeah, 0.2 seconds. So that's a good buffer going into run 2.
Yeah.
Looks like Dan might have got a slightly better start, but quickly Lemoyne was in front of him. You see Dan ripping into that corner, the pre-hop out of it. And Lemoyne's just solid.
What was the advantage on that one? It was
0.2.
0.2, okay.
Replay there on the big screen. These riders have to be so precise. These features so
Thomas Lemoyne on the quest for a silver medal here, and I think it was those 80 points, right? For a second place.
Bronze medal. He's going for the bronze.
Yeah, going for the bronze.
I think either, yeah, 60 points for bronze.
All right, the first time we see a gold medal matchup in pump track here in Cairns. It's going to go between Caroline Buchanan and Jordy Scott. Caroline just owning those fast times of the day. Statistically the one to beat here.
So far she's unbeatable. Slight advantage to Caroline. Jordy's looking good, but so close.
Jeez.
Caroline is going to take it. Almost a second. That shoulder's not slowing her down at all, Cam.
Yeah, 0.7 is such a strong margin there. I mean, she just needs to keep it smooth in the second run now.
She's well on her way to that gold medal. Yes, Caroline's got the starts locked down.
Wow. Take a look at those times.
And Haz is just sneaking there. It's almost a clean sweep from Caroline.
That's sign language for donuts. She's like, oh, if you can't tell these are donuts, look, this is what you do with them. You eat them. Donuts. The Simpsons. Ooh, gold medal matchup for the men. Jace Cunning, #1 qualifier, going up against Bas van Steenbergen.
Jace Cunning has been looking unstoppable today.
Yeah, which means if Bas van Steenbergen can pull one out of the hat, it's going to be that much more impressive. Look at those top 3 times belonging to Cunning.
Can he get his start a little bit better? We've seen it good, but not the best. Ooh! Bas with the start. But Jace is coming back now. I think Jace is ahead. He is.
Yeah.
He's just so solid out of those corners.
It's going to be a differential of 0.4 Cunning over Bas. I mean, jeez. There's something he does in that back berm where he just rocket ships out and he enters the final straightaway with so much more speed than everybody else. That's where he's winning these heats.
That's really interesting. I think he said before, he's mostly racing on dirt. Oh, sorry, first time on dirt. Mostly racing on asphalt pump tracks in which you can corner so much harder. So he's probably cornering like he's on asphalt.
Yeah, I mean, this dirt is going to react a lot more like asphalt than some other types of dirt that we see on the World Tour. This is the hardest pack in dirt.
He's got so much confidence in those corners, he just can lean in and trust it.
Oh, both tires underneath.
That was textbook. BMX jump. Look at that. So he just keeps extending that lead from that first berm. He keeps extending all the way to the finish.
He's staying so low on the jumps with his tires both underneath the landing. He pulls them up just to settle into that nice transition. 1, 2, 3, 4 fastest times
Holy, look at your...
of the day.
Oh,
Look
that's
at
the first
Lemoyne.
fastest time.
So Jason
I got a 14.
and Caroline both taking those top 4 times.
Yeah, that was sick. Nice work.
And both taking the advantage in the first gold medal round.
All right, run number 2 here. Bronze medal matchup for the women. Time to give away a medal. About 15 seconds after this gate drops. Harriet Burbage-Smith on the left side of your screen. She needs to make up 0.4 from Jenna Hastings.
We heard Jenna saying that she had the faster track last time. So let's see what happens here.
0.4 to make up here. Jenna with the advantage.
Good start from Jenna. Look at that first berm. Oh, Harriet. Just a little bit behind. Oh, it's pretty much neck and neck.
Oh, looking good for Jenna right now. Yeah, that was not.
Oh, yep.
Way to
Bronze
go
medal.
there. Jenna Hastings taking that 4th place qualifying result and grabbing that bronze medal from the one who you would have expected to win it. She was a 3rd place qualifier, Harriet Burbage-Smith. Congratulations there for Jenna Hastings.
So Jenna had a bigger advantage on the first one than the second. So maybe that right-hand side is a little bit quicker. But the start from Jenna was really good. She had a bike length already out of the gate. See those feet just working, trying to get the bike into that first downslope. She's pumping so hard. The bike's moving about a meter up and down beneath her.
So Jenna, way to grow. I mean, congratulations grabbing the bronze medal here at the Pump Track Challenge. You knocked out the 3rd place qualifier to grab that bronze. What does it feel like?
I haven't had a Crankworx podium in ages, so it feels pretty mean. And to knock Haz out, no hard feelings, bro. Wait, get out of it.
Some friendly competition between you two, it looks like.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, good stuff. Are we going to see you in the slalom tomorrow?
Yeah, we are, yeah.
Well,
Stoked for that.
way to go. Enjoy the celebrations today. We'll see you on the podium later. Bronze medal, Jenna Hastings. Way to go.
Thank you.
So there we go. We're down to the nitty-gritty here in the Crankworx Cairns Pump Track Challenge. Jenna Hastings securing that bronze medal, and now we're going to ramp things up. We got a bronze medal to give away for the men as well.
This is the battle.
Ooh, look at this, Charlie.
On the podium right
Set us
now,
up here. This is going to be great.
Here we go, this bronze medal. Dan Butterworth from New Zealand versus Lemoyne. He needs no introduction. But yeah, Lemoyne has the advantage. 0.2 of a second.
Love seeing this stuff. Thomas Lemoyne, the number 5 qualifier, putting 0.2 of a second into the number 2 qualifier. Lemoyne really wanting to grab that bronze medal. Here we go.
Both a good start. It looks pretty much even. I think Lemoyne might be slightly...
Oh, he went a little long there. I think it's going to be enough. Oh, gosh, it's going to be close. Yeah. Oh, Thomas Lemoyne grabs the bronze medal.
0.02 of a second.
Oh, man, we were keeping in mind what the gap was between them, knowing that it was going to be too close to call with our eyeballs. Clock doesn't lie. Thomas Lemoyne starts his very busy day off on the right note there, grabbing the bronze medal and those valuable points.
60 points. He'll be happy to have those extra 10 points that he got over 4th place. I can't believe how close that was.
That was so close. 0.02 of a second after both runs. Look at this.
So Dan winning this run, but it wasn't enough to counteract that deficit. It almost was. That right-hand side of the track does look faster. I don't know if riders just prefer to turn right or if the actual track itself is running faster.
Thomas Lemoyne, big day for you today. Congratulations. You just secured the bronze medal in the pump track challenge and the points that go along with it. Man, we saw you have a big crash on the slopestyle practice yesterday. I wasn't sure if we're going to see you on any start list. How crazy is it for you to be competing in pump track here, knowing you got slopestyle coming up next?
That's what changed my mind, actually, because I was a bit sore after I crashed yesterday. So I was like, maybe you're focusing too much on slope. Do what you do usually. So I was like, I'm going to sleep early, wake up, and go pump. And now I'm pretty smoked. I'm tired, but we got a little bit more time before slope. I give it all for slope.
Yeah, I don't doubt you will give it all for slope. How's the practice been going so far on that course?
I didn't have a lot, but I'm feeling good. I love the track. It's a lot technical. It feels like a downhill skate park to me. I love to cruise it. Now we're going to have to link the big tricks on it, so we'll see what happens. I hope it's going to be a good show for the boys.
Absolutely. I see you shining on a course like this, so congratulations on grabbing the bronze to start the day, and we'll see you back out there for the big show later.
Thank you, man.
Right on. Thomas Lemoyne ready for finals. Yes! We're not done yet. Gold medal matchup for the women. Jordy Scott, the #2 qualifier, going up against the unstoppable right now, Caroline Buchanan, #1 qualifier, owning those top times of the day. Caroline Buchanan padding this nicely with a 0.7 advantage.
Yeah, Jordy's got a lot of work to do. If Caroline just gets to the smooth, she should be okay. Good start for Caroline. Jordy's on that, what we think might be the faster side of the course.
Gold medal on the line here.
Caroline's in front. Just needs to get down this last straight to grab the gold.
There we go. Caroline Buchanan does it. Whoa. Gold medal.
I don't know if she's lost a single run today. That just shows her experience and class. With an injured shoulder,
I felt good.
she's stoked.
Just following you.
What a show there. Unstoppable all day. Caroline Buchanan backing up that #1 qualifying position. Here's how she did it. She had a nice advantage going into the second run.
It's just staying low and using those arms so much. She's going to be happy to be giving that shoulder a rest now.
Well, Caroline, we're going to see on the podium for the second time in just the past couple days. You were unstoppable all day today. Congrats on grabbing the gold. Out of all the events we have here at Crankworx Cairns, is this your favorite one?
I love them all, to be honest. Like, I love speed and style for so many elements that you have so much risk reward, and it's really challenging for the girls. This one really plays into my background, and I love when the atmosphere is really tight and putting on a show. And then obviously, like, slalom is so unreal, and we've got an amazing course lined up for tomorrow.
Yeah, talk to me about that slalom course. I'm really looking forward to that. That's actually going to take place tomorrow. And a lot of times, the slalom shares a course with the speed and style, but this is its own course, right?
Yeah, completely different course, and it's got that really good blend of the security with the turns, the flat corners, and some new elements we've never had with the wall ride. So the team here at Flux Trail have just done an amazing show, and you know, I love this for my home country to have this facility for the future.
Yeah, absolutely. The future's very bright here in Cairns. Congratulations on the win. Good job putting on a show for us. I know this is not the last we're going to see of you here this weekend, so best of luck in slalom moving forward.
Thanks, Cam. Thanks, team.
There's our leaderboard there. Queen of Crankworx standings. Take a look, Charlie.
Yeah, Jordy takes the lead. She's 605 points there. So quite an advantage over Via Verbeek. And Caroline is up into third.
She's climbing. So Jordy Scott making it happen ahead of Via Verbeek right there. Every point matters. We'll definitely see Via and Jordy back in the slalom. So who knows who will be leading at the end of the weekend here, but gold medal matchup for the men. Bass Van Steenbergen going up against the #1 qualifier, Jace Cunning.
So Jace has a good advantage. He just needs to get through this even with Bass.
0.4 to play with here for Jace Cunning. Yeah, they're off.
Bass is a slight advantage, I think.
Oh, he needs more than 0.4.
But here comes Jace.
Jeez.
He's gonna smoke it.
Jace Cunning continues to do what he's been doing all day, and that is rocket ship out of that back berm. This time, it's for a gold medal.
Almost puts a second into Bass. That was so impressive. Jace has been riding amazingly well. Yeah, Bass is quite impressed there with Jace's riding.
Yeah,
like we all are.
Ripping. Well, the last replay we get to see here of Jace Cunning in our pursuit of trying to figure out what in the world he's doing in that back berm. Oh, he's exiting quite low.
Just everything, it just looks textbook on this course.
Bass coming up just a little bit short on that jump right there, sucking it up just a smidge too much. Jace, my man, what a show you've put on for us here today. Congratulations on grabbing the gold. What do you make of this atmosphere out here at your first Crankworx appearance?
Oh, it was actually incredible. I've never heard a crowd so loud. We couldn't actually really hear the gate on the final because everyone was so loud, but it made it super enjoyable and sick, and I hope I can do a lot more of these in the future.
That's right. Do you feel like you're getting the bug? I mean, the first step is we see you come back for pump track in Rotorua, but then we start peer pressuring you into other disciplines. Which other disciplines tickle your fancy?
Yeah, look, I've definitely got the bug. I had it before we even raced today, so that's a good thing. I'd love to do slalom. I need to get more consistent with my flips and stuff, but speed and style would be good too.
Yes.
Downhill and slopestyle way too gnarly. But no, it's super enjoyable, and it's good that we got another one close to home in Rotorua, so hopefully they'll be there.
Yes, that's what I hope to see. Jace Cunning, welcome to Crankworx, and congratulations on grabbing the pump track gold.
Thank you.
Right on. We always say we're going to pick up more world-class talent as we bring Crankworx World Tour around the world. And we see who the best overall riders are. King and Queen of Crankworx is the ultimate battle of mixing disciplines and traveling the world in pursuit of bragging rights and a whole lot of money. Last year, Bass van Steenbergen was the man who collected the most points. He's the reigning king of Crankworx. Via Verbeek is the reigning queen of Crankworx. A couple names we're definitely seeing on our leaderboards here again in the 2022 season. Beautiful day here in Cairns. Far from over, right, Charlie?
Yep, it is. We've got a lot more action coming up with slopestyle, and I'm looking forward to sitting down and watching that unfold.
Ooh, yes, look at the king leaderboard.
So yeah, like you said, I mean, Bass is the defending champion, but he's not leading it this year.
Thomas Lemoyne doing his job today, and it's not even over. Grabbing the bronze medal and padding that lead a little bit. He's got 495 points. Bass van Steenbergen has 453, so he's biting at the heels. We definitely will see Bass van Steenbergen race in slalom, and we will definitely see Thomas Lemoyne competing in slopestyle in a matter of hours right now. Taking a look at those wind flags, they're looking low, which is great. We moved slopestyle to later in the day to accommodate the fact that we learned the best conditions for slopestyle are later in the day here in Cairns. And what a show it's going to be. Riders like that, Eric Fedko, going up against the champ, Emil Johansson, on his quest to make it 9 in a row. And if he wins this competition today, he would secure the triple crown of Crankworx for the second year in a row. Little look back at when he did it in Rotorua last year. A lot of pressure on this man, but he just continues to push the limits. And it's almost like a battle for second place, but you know what? This course is gonna shake things up a lot today because we have a lot of unique features. And what do you make of the pump track challenge today? You know, let's talk about pump track a little bit, and you know, just the fact that we've got a new course here. I don't know, I think that's the best pump track I've ever seen, just that course design, and it didn't disappoint today.
Yeah, I think, like you said, the course design, the track was, the best one ever, really. And we saw two Aussies on top.
Yep.
Caroline and Jace. you know, and we've seen that this whole week. It's been the Australian story. The Australians have been almost unbeatable.
Looking for some more shoeies on the podium from Pump Track, but that's just one of 2 podiums we're going to have. The day is far from over. Thank you, Charlie, for joining me up here in the booth. It's been fun talking with you. Thank you to our whole production team for getting those great angles today and all the volunteers for making this happen. Like I say, we're far from over today. That was the Pump Track Challenge. We had some backflips in the earlier rounds, and we will see you back in a couple hours for Slopestyle. Thanks for joining us.